Well, hello. Hello, hello. I can't say happy Saturday. I'm committed to being here with you as often as I can. So instead of coming on Saturday, I'm here today on Friday. I believe next week we will get back to our schedule. So we'll be back on Saturday. But today we're here live in the music room on Friday. Now, if you don't know who I am Miss Christine, and this is Live in the Music Room. I want to welcome you for joining me. I want to welcome those who are watching the replay. Hello, and thank you. I really want to say a thank you to our committed students. We are slowly world. That is the goal. So thank you for joining us. Thank you for those who have subscribed. I think we have 291 subscribers, and I'm trying to get to 300. So let's get to 300 subscribers. And so let's see who's in the classroom. Let's see who's in the classroom. Okay, Mobile Music is saying happy Friday. Happy Friday, Mobile Music. Yes, it's always good to see you. And of course, 2 for 1, always coming in strong. I can always count on 2 for 1. Hello, and how are you? Hopefully, we'll see if other students come in the classroom. I'm so glad to hear that you are doing awesome mobile music. And yes, it is a wow because I have had such a crazy week, believe it or not. Let me just mention that you might have noticed earlier in the week, we streamed a funeral, and it was something obviously we were not expecting. I don't think anyone expects death, but it was a very near and close family friend, and we were asked to broadcast, live stream the funeral so that family from near and far would have an opportunity to participate. And so, no, this is not a channel where we will be featuring funerals, but if it is a client or a student and someone who is very supportive of our music school, and we're in a position to do that, then we try to do just that. So I just wanted to make that clarity. I know there are other students that will be joining us. Hopefully, they'll make it today. I'm not going to stay very, very long today because I actually have some private students this evening. My schedule has been all over the page because we were committed to doing a funeral. And so that's why I'm here today. Friday, we have a job tomorrow. There's more teaching to do, and the day is still young. But I'm excited to be here. And so if you are ready to learn, you already know what to do. If you're ready to learn, come on and put it in the chat. Let me see you tell me that you are ready to learn. If you're ready to learn, let me see you put it in the chat. That is my question to you. All right. My question to you is, are you ready to learn? Every day we should be ready to learn. And the question is, are you ready to learn? I'm ready to learn. Every day I wake up, there is something new that I find myself learning, even if I didn't even want to know how to learn it, something new. So let's see who's ready to learn. Mobile Music is ready to learn. Okay, Abdul is in the room. Good job, Abdul. Thank you for saying hello. He's saying hello to Mobile Music and 2 for 1. Abdul, did you have a good week? We were just talking about how we had such a crazy work week. We were doing multiple things. And the reason why we're live streaming today on Friday is because tomorrow, Saturday, we have a job. And I'm going to try, no commitment, try to live stream a little bit of our gig tomorrow so you can see some other things that I do, and you'll kind of really get an understanding of all the things that I try to do and all of my experiences, right? It's just not music teaching, but it's also getting out there, connecting with people artistically, creatively. And so if I'm able to showcase something, I'm going to try to do that. Okay, so let's see. Abdul, how was your weekend? You had a good week. Who passed away, ma'am? Oh, yes. So, as I was mentioning earlier, Abdul, we have a music school, not just virtual, but actually in person, right? So, what we're saying, we're not some of those influencers that influence you through a screen and then you know nothing about what they really do in person. What I share with you is real, live, and every day. It is not a hustle, it is not a wannabe, it is what I do all day. And I've been doing this, I don't even want to tell you how long, but let's say over 20 years. So I know I'm telling my age a little bit. And regrettably, one of our clients from our in person classes, right? Their husband passed away, Mr. Gerald James. And we were asked to support this family and finding a way to live stream so families, whether close or afar, who could not physically be at the funeral, we were able to bridge that gap and give them a live stream of the service. And so I just wanted to bring that to our audience that's slowly growing, which I should say, please like and subscribe. Let me just put that up because I can't mention that enough, is to like and subscribe. And more importantly, because we have such a good relationship with all our students, clients, and parents, and anyone who does business with us, we were asked to take on such a task, and I think we delivered quite well. So that's one of the reasons why you see out of the blue a funeral when we do music education here. But that is the reason. And so I figured I would explain today so people wouldn't start saying, I'm confused, right? All right. So do me a favor, Abdul, 2 for 1 Mobile Music, my superstar students. Please give a like and subscribe. And let's see what's going on here. Abdul is saying that he's glad to see Mobile Music and 2 for 1. And let's see, any other questions before we get into our lesson? Anything musical, Abdul? Have you been performing? Abdul, by the way, from some of those of you who are watching now and even watching the live stream, I'm getting to know students. Abdul happens to direct message me. I think you say it DM me, right? And was sharing some of his compositions. So this is not just one time and that's it and we say goodbye. Abdul can tell you for himself that we've been able to connect musically and starting to build a community. And that is what the purpose of this channel and the purpose of what I do every day, not just live in the music room, but every day. Okay. So what I say, I'm living. I'm not just speaking it just because it sounds good. I am actually doing just what I say I do and love to do. All right. So let me see something here. Let's see. Abdul is saying, no, you haven't been playing. Okay, I know you're also waiting for that keyboard. And it looks like 2 for 1. I don't know for some reason why things are coming in a little bit delayed. 2 for 1 asks, did you provide any music services? So I'm going to guess you're either talking about tomorrow's gig or the funeral. I'm not too sure which music services 2 for 1 is asking. I'll be happy to go into detail, but I'm gonna guess we're talking about the gig tomorrow. Is that what you're asking? Two for one is to go into detail if we're providing music services. Okay, so I'll give you a few moments to bring that in. Abdul is saying he might buy an electric guitar too. Oh boy, Abdul. You've been relearning the cage system. Okay, okay. Good. You're always learning, Abdul. Okay. So mobile 2 for 1 is saying both. Okay. So if you don't know, many of you, maybe even you, Abdul, may not be aware of some of the vast background that I share along with our co-founder, Miss Robin. And what we're able to do, not just in the classroom, which is our love of teaching music to all ages. We teach children as young as 2 years old, but we've had the experience of teaching children as young as 6 months old, all the way up into senior, way up into 80s, 70s, 90s. You name a number, it's probably someone that we have taught. But aside from that, we do perform. Many of you may know I love singing. That is my first love, first instrument, as some people like to say. And for the funeral, if you're happen to scroll through some of the service, you might actually see Miss Robin playing the saxophone. How fascinating is that? We don't see a lot of female saxophone players. Is that right, Abdul? And so I am so proud of Miss Robin for highlighting her vast talent and being a part of this wonderful school that we have built together. Tomorrow at our gig tomorrow, which I'm going to try to live stream, and Abdul, you can let me know as well as those who are watching if you would like to see tomorrow's gig, a little snippet. I probably won't do the whole thing because I'm working. But tomorrow we also DJ, or I should say I DJ, yes, because it's not something that is a first love. I'm falling into DJ and I've been doing it for many, many years. We will be providing DJ services and karaoke. Okay, so Abdul said, yes, ma'am, please. Okay. All right, so I'm not gonna like say absolutely because tech issues, right? You know how that goes. But I will try, okay, Abdul? And I'll probably message you, hey, I'm going to go live, and then you can see what we do, and I can give people a behind the scenes, and you can see the equipment and all the speakers and microphones, because if you're going to be a performer or a student of music, then how are people going to hear the music, right? And so you should have an understanding of pro audio equipment, right? And so I have a background in pro audio equipment and sound and working with other musicians, and there's going to be a jazz band there, and it's a really nice fun family celebration. And sometimes we have some rappers that do karaoke and singers. It's a great deal, and that's why I would love to be able to highlight some of those things that we have on our agenda for tomorrow. Okay, so Abdul is asking me, are you a mezzo soprano, ma'am? I love Abdul and the multiple questions that you ask. And for those of you who may not know some of the terminology, some of these Italian mezzo, in other words, it's like a second soprano. And so I have a second soprano or first alto range, is like what I like to say. Sometimes on my good days, I can sing really, really high, as you all know. And then sometimes on my not so good days, I'm in my lower alto register. But that's where I tend to be. So to answer your question, I would say yes. As I've gotten older and more invested in teaching, I'm not doing near as much singing, but you know what, Abdul? Because I've been starting this channel and on a journey to share my love of music, I was just telling someone that I'm going to start coming in and doing more singing and more vocal exercises with those students because truly I love, you know, vocalizing. That is always going to be true and near to my heart. Let's see if some more questions are coming in. All right, mobile music. Abdul always has very interesting questions. I love his engagement. Absolutely, mobile music. And Abdul is letting me know he's going to try tenor too. Okay, Abdul. One day, very soon, as our channel grows, which I'm going to put like and subscribe, I'm going to bring in some voice students of mine, right? And I'm going to do a Zoom class, but I'm going to broadcast it live so you can see how I teach with other students of mine, both current and past, right? I'll bring them all in and then they'll sing for you. I'll sing for you. We'll do vocal exercises. I think that is going to blow everyone's mind because it's nothing better than seeing a live class, right? I mean, I can't necessarily, bring my class to South Africa, but isn't it wonderful that we have the opportunity to broadcast globally? I love that so much. So that is something that I am going to work towards. But I need some more students or I should say subscribers to the channel. I've got to sort of build a following. I don't want students to come in and it's just like 3 people, right? Because they're busy adults. I have a lot of adult students too. I have children, but more adult students. So that's a little bit about what's going on with me, what my desires are for the channel, why I'm streaming today on Friday versus Saturday, because tomorrow there's a big obligation for both me and the team. And we're excited about that. And we want to do our best. And we want to show up for you. So everyone said that they were ready to learn. So let's put up our lesson topics for today. And hopefully, prayerfully, everything works. You know how this goes. So today we are in Unit 3, Lesson 3. Look at that. Unit 3, Lesson 3. And we're talking about dotted half notes. And I think a couple of lessons Abdul had talked about dotted half note. Well, today we're going to dive deep into dotted half notes because that is today's lesson. And what does it mean? What does it mean in music? How do we count those beats? We know or should be familiar, if you're familiar with a little bit of music theory when it comes to a dotted half note, that theoretically we're counting 3 beats, right? And of course, we're going to play a fun game. I always like to do a class play. It's class play to make sure you understand today's concept, okay? So those are our lesson plans for today. Let's see if we can scoot over to our lesson for today with our slides. Oh, you know what? We're going to do a quick review. Now, Abdul is in the classroom, and it's so good to see you, Abdul, 2 for 1 in mobile music. And last week we talked about 3/4 time signature. Remember that? And I had mentioned that sometimes we call it a waltz time or waltz meter, right? Sometimes they don't even say 3/4. It's so understood that it's waltz. And Abdul was not familiar with the term the waltz or a dance. So I wanted to show this little video clip from Cinderella, and let's see if it will play for me. Let's see. Okay, listen. Can you hear that? So they're dancing or waltzing. But more importantly, listen to the music. Okay. So you can let me know were you able to hear the music as along with the video clip? Okay, I'll give you a few seconds to let me know if you heard that, okay? And now I'm going to let you just hear a sound clip, okay? A little audio clip so that you can hear the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. And you know, I love how my shoulders can kind of go up and down. You know, music is very expressive, right? Whether we're happy, sad, angry, or all the other emotions. And sometimes we want to hear it in our body. Okay, it was low. Okay. All right. Okay. Good. So let's try this. Let's see if you can hear this little clip. And if the audio is low, I'll do my best to try to turn it up. Okay. Listen to the 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. Listen, listen. Okay, I'm going to pause it there. Did you hear the 1, 2, 3? Let me know in the comments. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Okay. All right, let me let you hear another sample. Okay. All right, listen, listen. Stop that here. So it's so popular. Okay. It's not quite as common as 4/4 time signature, right? Everyone knows we use that capital C. Yes, the strings sound beautiful. Yes, it is a beautiful piece. Okay, so that was specifically for you, Abdul. We talked about 3/4 time signature last week, and we talked about the waltz, the style of dance, and I wanted to bring that to your attention since we talked about it last week. So now everybody kind of put on your thinking caps really, really quickly. And I have a review question for you. So, the top number, when we're talking about a time signature, remember we talked about this. What does the top number tell us? So, I'm looking for, there's a blank here. The top number tells us how many blank belongs in each measure. How many blank belongs in each measure. Okay, I'm trying not to give the answer. So, your job is to tell me what is the missing word there, the blank that I'm looking for. Okay, let's see if I can get my sound effects working again. Okay. Good, good, good. Answers are coming in nice and strong. Okay. Beats in a bar is absolutely correct. Absolutely correct. Oh, no worries, mobile music, Waltz of the Flowers, LOL. I know where you were thinking. Okay. So the answer is beats or counts. Good job. So if you got that correct, give yourself a ding, ding, ding. Okay. All right. So here we go. Next question. Now, oh, this is not a question, but this is a recap for those of you who are just joining in. The top number tells us how many beats are in each measure or bar. Bar, measure is the same thing. And in a 3/4 time signature, there are 3 beats in each measure. 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3, 1, 2, 3. Or if it helps, you can say strong, weak, weak, strong, weak, weak, strong, weak, weak, strong, weak, strong beats versus weak beats. Some people connect that way. But you want to make sure that you count the beats evenly from the beginning to the end. Okay. And so that concept of steady beat, meaning when you count the beats, you want everything nice and steady. Okay. Good job, class. All right. Now, in your own words, what does a whole rest tell us to do? I remember Miss Christine telling me that a whole rest lasts for 4 beats, but I'm looking at a 3/4 time signature. I'm confused. Can someone help me, please? And so I know if you were paying attention last week, you should know, what does the whole rest mean when we're in a 3/4 time signature, okay? So let's put the 30 seconds on the clock and let's see if you can get your answers in within the time frame, okay? I'll give you 30 seconds and give you 30 seconds now, 18 seconds. Come on, get them in. And I know there's a delay, by the way. All righty, so no worries there. Okay, okay. Let's see what your answers are. Okay, let's see. All right, giving it a few more seconds here. Okay. All right, good. Let me take the clock down. All right, so I know there's a delay, and so I'm going to just move on for the sake of time. Excuse me. And so the answer that I was looking for is a whole rest is used for a full measure of rest. So that whole measure is resting, even if there are only 3 beats in each measure. Okay, the same thing goes if we're in a 2/4 time signature. In this case, we are looking at a 3/4 time signature. The 3 is on the top, and we still rest for 3 beats. That is a full rest. Let's see what our students are sharing right now. Okay. Let's see. Abdul said, you forgot to, let me try, ma'am. I forgot, so it can be used regardless of the time signature. That is correct, Abdul. Okay. Yeah, you got it. You got it. And Mobile Music is saying musical silence. Oh, I love that. 2 for 1, excuse me. For the entire measure / bar or 3 beats / counts. Excellent job, 2 for 1. I love that. Very, very nice. Okay, so I'm getting the answers coming in, 3 beats or counts. That was our previous question. And we know that it is silence. It's a whole rest, but you're holding it for 3 beats, and it is a rest, so we hear nothing. Very nice work. Okay, now let's look at that bottom number. Remember, we talked about this last week. Okay, so now in your own words, I'm looking for the missing words here. The bottom number tells us what blank equals exactly 1 beat. And then I have a quarter note here. What does the bottom note tell us? It tells us what is equal exactly to 1 beat. In your own words, okay? We talked about the top number and the bottom number, and I remembered those 2 questions. How many and what kind? Remember? Okay, how many and what kind? So now we're talking about the bottom number, all right? Put 30 seconds on the clock. And I realized that I was not showing my screen. My apologies here. So here's it on the screen. The bottom number tells us what blank equals exactly 1 beat. And then I have the quarter note, okay? 30 seconds, and I'm looking for my jumping music. Okay, here we go. All right, shoulders are moving. I'm putting the music in my body, okay? I'm not a dancer, but that's what dancers do. They put the music in their body, okay? And even if you're not a dancer, musicians have to tap their foot, clap their hands, snap their fingers, bob their head. You're feeling the beat in your body, okay? Good job. Let me just stop that, okay? So now let's see our answers. Okay, 2 for 1. Which kind of note gets the beat? Okay, good, good, good. And then I see the bottom number specifies the type of beat. Wow. In other words, the quarter note. Look at you. Look at you. High five. Let me see if my clapping comes on. It probably won't because I need to work on my audio. Okay, so the bottom number tells you what kind of note equals exactly 1 beat. And in this case, the quarter notes, do you remember, are running the show? Yes, good job. Okay, mobile music is saying quite a bit here. The bottom number tells us which type of note gets the beat. A 4 represents the quarter note, so the quarter note gets the beat. Job well done. Job well done. Even Abdul is saying nice 2 for 1 and mobile music. Good job, Abdul. You're so kind. I really do appreciate you. Okay. And for those of you who may not understand this, please watch the replay, okay? Some of these things are review because it's important for you to understand the dotted half note as we continue in today's lesson. So just as a recap, remember how many is the top number. And if you see 3, then you're going to count 1, 2, 3. And then that bottom number is going to tell you what kind of note gets the beat. It's almost like that math code. Remember we talked about that? And then in this case, when you see the number 4, the quarter note gets the beat. Okay. All right. So we're going to move along into today's lesson. And I like to have some polka dots, and we're going to talk about dots and music. How about that? Okay. Dots and music. So here we go. Think of it like the magic dot. Okay. Our music extender. Okay. So here's my little highlighter. Let's see if things are working. So here we have a dot changes a note's length, okay? And also, it always looks backwards to its partner. That's my little fun way of saying the dot is always going to be behind the note, all right? So it's not going to be in the front, it's going to be behind. And I like to say it's looking behind its partner's note, okay? Because they work together, okay? Does that make sense? And then it adds extra time to the beat. Now, I'm going to go into further explanation, but I want you to think of it like a magic dot. It really does something wonderful to the note, in this case, the half note, but it is a dotted half note that we're talking about in today's lesson. So now let's go into a little bit more detail and let's do the math. So the way you want to look at this is step 1. You know a half note gets what? 2 beats. We talked about that going to the pizzeria, right? And so here is our half note, and we have 2 beats. So I'm going to put a 2 there. Then I have my plus sign, so that lets me know that I'm adding, right? And now the second step is the dot is half of the note value of, in this case, the half note. So what is half of 2? Half of 2 is 1, okay? Good, 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 okay? And hopefully you can add 2 plus 1 equals what? 3. In this case, there is your dotted half note, okay? So I went through the steps as thorough as I possibly could. I do see the number 1s coming in. Abdul is letting us know the dot gets half the note's value. And notice in our previous lessons, we talked about note value. You see how this is all coming into play. We talked about note value because the dot takes half of that note value, and then you have to add it to that note to get the final result. How long? The duration of that note. Let's do some more. Okay, now it fits perfectly in a 3/4 time signature. Here we have our clef, here we have our time signature, and here is our dotted half note. So this dotted half note completes the entire measure. 2, 3. Okay, let me do it again. 1, 2, 3. That's it. Okay, so I want you to remember 3/4 time means 3 beats per measure. Okay, which we just went over as a review, but our dotted half note is exactly 3 beats long. One single note fills the entire measure. In this case, the dotted half note. We play on count 1, 1, 2, 3, and then you hold it, okay? I have freeze through, but that's not, I don't like that. You're going to hold that through till count to beat or count 2 and 3. Let's see if we have some questions here. Now, accept the staccato dot under the note that has no value. Oh, I love that. I love that. And the laughing emoji. Yes, we haven't talked about articulations yet, Abdul, where we're talking about staccato, right? Where notes are short and detached. We are talking about the dot in music that extends the note value. But bump. Okay, give me a high five. I love that. I love that. Okay, so now I'm going to let you listen, which we kind of halfway did, to the dotted half note. So I'm going to kind of continue on because I just went over that and let you hear the 3/4 time and our notes and rest. But this time, notice we have a dotted half note here and a dotted half note here, right? Okay, so now let me see how this is going to work here. Give me 1 second because I jumped on and I don't think I gave myself a chance to check my other pages. So let's see if it will work because that was my I forgot to check this, so I overlooked it. Give me one moment because you know how it goes. Okay. Any questions, by the way, about the dotted half note? We're getting ready to listen to it in real time, okay? And I want to make sure everyone understands what I'm saying and I'm not going too fast, okay? I don't want to go too fast and I want to make sure everyone understands what I'm doing here. Any questions? Let me see. Where is it? Okay. All right. So it looks like it's working here. Let me see. All right. Okay. Oh, okay. Here we go. You know how it goes. Okay. All right, hold on, hold on. Give me 1 second. This is part of the learning process for me, not for you. Here we go. Okay, now what I might have to do is open this up a little bit here. And somehow, I know what I'll do. I know what I do. Okay, give me 1 second. Okay, can everyone see this? And what I'll do, let's see. Nope. Oh boy. This was my fault. I should have tested this out. All right, hold on. Something is not right. Option. Oh, wow. Okay. All right. Let's see. I want to make sure you see the whole thing. And I'm going to move this over just a little bit. I'm still here, and you can see I'm doing this in real time. Don't worry that it's spilling over. But somehow my page just came. Okay, there it is. Okay, no questions. Good. Okay, and I think I'm still on screen. Hello, I'm still here. All right, so now we're going to go to our slide, right? And we're going to let you hear this so that you can hear what the dotted half note sounds like in a 3/4 time. We have half notes, we have quarter notes, we have a dotted half note, and we have one ledger line, which we talked about in Unit 1. I'm going to start bringing in more ledger lines, so don't get nervous. Okay, are you ready to listen, listen, listen? Here we go. Listen up. Actually, let me put my count in. So my metronome and my count in is in, okay? All right, here we go. Listen. have that whole rest. Let me bring it down. Good. Now I would count, but I think I might come in a little delayed. Let me let you hear that one more time. Listen. Bring this down. You're resting. Good. Okay. Did everyone hear that half note as well as the other notes, right? So I wanted to complement the piece so that you had a chance to hear the half note, the quarter note, the whole rest, and the dotted half note, okay? All at one time, okay? So let's see here. So I want everyone to remember in a 3/4 and 4/4 time signature, a half note receives 2 beats because a dot following a half note is naturally going to increase its duration. Duration meaning how long or short, in this case, long by 1 beat. Okay, you started with 2, now you have 3. Obviously, 3 is bigger than 2, so that is going to be held for 3 counts, the dotted half note. Okay, now let's have some fun with our class play. Okay, so here is our instructions. We have to add up the beats, and then I will drag and drop only one note that equals the total value. Okay, so in other words, you got to know how to add, you got to know your note value. Okay, another key word, you have to know your note value. So if you see a quarter note, you should know how long does the quarter note last for, okay? So let's take a look at number or letter A here. Okay, so put your answers in the chat. What would the total sum or the value be here? I have a little box. I have my pencil. I have a quarter note plus a half note, okay? Quarter note plus a half note. And I will give you 30 seconds because maybe someone is struggling, okay? And that's okay. This is a place of learning, a place of learning. So put your answer in the chat, please, okay? Here we go. Shoulders are going. All right. Question. All right. I see your answers. Bring it on in. Come on, bring it on in. All right. Okay. So let me stop that. Okay. Good job. All right. So some of the answers are coming in. I see a lot of 3s. Okay. Now let's work on this together. Oh, Abdul, 2 for 1 in mobile music. What color pen should I use today? Come on and tell me, what color pen should I use? I mean, I've been using black. I got my black shirt on, but I want to pop a color. Give me a color. Give me a color. We're going to work this out together. We're going to do this class play together. If you're watching the replay, put your answer in the comment, okay? So we don't want anyone to feel excluded. We have about 35 views, I don't know, and no one is saying hello to me. Come on, you can join in and say hello, all right? Don't be shy. All right, so red it is, Abdul. So the quarter note gets 1 beat. Then we have our plus, and the half note gets what? 2 beats. So 1 plus 2 equals 3. And down here we have, oh, look at it, works too, a dotted half note. Okay, good job there. Okay, good job. All right, so now let's go to letter B. Let's go to letter B. Let me get my red pen and put your answer in the chat and go, 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 go. All right, come on, you can do this. I know you can do it. All right, here we go. I got the music going. Put your answer in the chat. We talked about the dotted half note and how long you hold the dotted half note. Now you have to add this all up, okay? I'm going to drag and drop one note that equals the total value. Talking about the note value. Okay, that's our time. Let me take my clock off. All right, so we're still working with our red pen. The dotted half note, if you were paying attention, and I'm going to assume you were, gets 3 beats, okay? So we have 3, then we add our plus. Quarter note, you should know, gets 1 beat, right? 3 plus 1 equals, 4, but I don't have a whole note here. Oh no, but you know what? I can draw a whole note, okay? So that was my error. I forgot to put my little image down here, but no worries. We still can continue to learn. Good job. Give me a high five. Okay. Good work. Okay. Letter C. C for Christine. Okay. Here we go. Here we go. I have my 30 seconds on the clock and go, go, go. Let's see. Let's see your answer. Put your answers in the chat, please. Okay, got my shoulders going. And we didn't talk about, I can't wait till we talk about the speed, dynamics, all types of fun things. I see your hearts, right? We're going to be listening to different sounds and different songs, okay? Talking about tempo, yes. Okay, so our answers are coming in. This one seems tricky, right? Doesn't it seem tricky? Because now we're looking at rest, okay? So notes were up here. Now we're looking at the rest, but nothing too confusing. So let's look at this. We have a quarter rest that gets 1 beat. We put the plus, right? Oh, but what kind of rest is this? I'm confused. Is it a whole rest? Is it a half rest? I don't know. How do you know what kind of rest this is? Okay, okay. All right, mobile music. Let me put your answer up here. Like a top hat, right? You should remember, okay? Good job, mobile music. Like a top hat, okay? All right, and of course, another way is to think of it like a top hat. And then you add your little smiley face because I'm so happy. I don't know if you can see my little smiley face. All right, you can put some smiley faces in the chat, right? And so a half rest gets 2 beats, okay? And 1 plus 2 equals 3. And there we have our dotted half note. Okay. Good work. Good work. Okay. Yes, Abdul, I see what you have there. 1 plus 2, it's 3. It's 3. And you should have known because you already told me it's 3. The half note, like a top hat, gets 2 beats. Good job. Okay. We're almost finished. Okay. We have one more class play, letter D. And I think this is really easy for you all. All right, so come on and put your answer in the chat. And I have my jumping music. I'm going to push it up, raise the roof. Okay, come on. What is your answer? Put it in the chat. What is your answer? Put it in the chat. All right, you got to have some fun. Put it in the chat. Okay. All right. Answers are coming in. Answers are coming in. And let's see what we have here. I see the number 2. Abdul is telling me it equals to 2. 2 for 1 is letting me know it equals 2. Okay, let's see if you're correct. Let me get my little pen. We said we're working with the red pen. So we have a quarter rest, which is 1. Then we're going to add our plus, right? And then we have another quarter note, which is 1. 1 plus 1 equals 2. So we have a half note. Look at that. All right. Good job. Okay, what do you have here, Abdul? So you can put a half note there. Yes, good job. Absolutely. Absolutely. Any questions about our class play? Any questions about the dotted half note? Remember, when you're looking at the dotted half note, the way we figure it out, we have to take the first note, look at the first note. Okay, let me get my pen. Look at the first note. Then you cut that note's value exactly in half. Okay, that is how we figure this out, the formula. Okay, so you have one, I'm sorry, not one, you have two. Look at me, confusing you already, huh? So we have two here, our half note. Then we have our plus. The dot is half of the original value or note value. Excuse me. And so half of 2 is 1, and that's going to give you 3. Now, because I have such star students, I'm going to ask you, what happens if I had a whole note, right? This is kind of like AP, not AP, but just a little advance here for some of our star students. Okay, so let's say I have a whole note and I want to add a dot. Okay, what would the note value be? Okay, so we talked about dotted half note, but this is like an extended, like, let's see if you can apply your knowledge to other notes. Okay, so what would the note value be for a dotted whole note? A dotted whole note. What would it equal? Okay, so let's see if you can tell me. And how did you come up with your answer? Okay, because I gave you the formula, and you can substitute any of these notes and come up with your answer. All right, look at us. We're thinking critically. Okay, we are thinking critically. Okay, so Mobile Music said 6 beats. That is correct. But how did you come up with your answer? That's like the teacher saying, yeah, you got the right answer, but let me see how you came up with that answer. Abdul is coming in and telling me the whole note becomes 6. Yes, the dotted whole note, right, Abdul? Okay, the dot is half of 4, which is 2. So 4 plus 2 equals 6. Good, Abdul. And here is 2 for 1 giving me the math. 4 plus 2 equals 6. That is it, okay? Once you understand the formula and you understand that the dot takes half, excuse me, half of the note's value, you can do the formula and substitute any of the notes, okay? And we've been talking about a quarter note, a half note, and a whole note. We can do the same thing for a quarter note, right? Would you like to do that? Or am I testing you too much? All right, I think everyone understands, okay? All right, so the whole equals 4 beats plus half of that 2, then together for 6 beats. That is correct. Excuse me, that is correct. Mobile Music, okay? Very nice work. Okay, so I hope that everyone has a good understanding of the dotted half note. You will come across the dotted half note again, okay? Here is another little sample of a time signature now in 4/4 time signature. 4/4 time. We have our quarter note 1, 2, and then our half note 3, 4, right? And then here's our dotted half note. So we're holding this for 3 beats, and then note F is coming in on beat 4, and so on. Does everyone see that? Okay, I don't need to go into it too much because you understand this. We've been going over this quite a bit. Good work, good work. Before I say my goodbyes, any other questions? Abdul is letting me know that the quarter note would be 1 and the half the beat or half beat, or I think I'm understanding. The quarter note gets 1 and then half of that, okay, to figure out the sum, the note's value. I think that's what you're saying, and that is correct. All right, when the dot is added. Okay, yes, yes, yes. So if we had a quarter note, right, we can do it together since I mentioned it. Where's my little notepad there? I just drew something here. Okay, so here we did the dot. Let me put this up on the board, okay? And so it would be 6 beats, okay? And for those of you who are watching and may need some clarification, the whole note gets 4 beats, right? Okay, so we know the whole note gets 4. But when we add, let's do it like this so everything makes good sense. Okay, so all the math is clear. So here's our whole note, and let me do it here. Here's our whole note. It gets 4 beats, right? Then we're going to add our dot. Let's erase this. We're going to add our dot. Okay, here's the dot. I'll just put dot, okay? And now you have to figure out what is half of 4. If I was to kind of put a little dash here, then you should know that that is now 2, because half of 4 is 2. And so now a dotted whole note, and if I said half note inadvertently, I apologize. We're talking about the dotted whole note would now equal, okay, so let's put our whole note with the dot would equal 6 beats. Okay, so this is beats. Okay, oops. And I'm putting beats here. I'm writing with my mouse, so no judgment. Okay, oops. Oh boy, I got all kind of beeps. Okay, that's our school bell. We're going to do one more. Now we're going to do the dotted quarter note. So the first question is, how many beats does a dotted note get? A dotted note gets 1 beat, right? Okay. So now let's add, I'm going to draw because I like to have fun. And I'm going to make this a little thicker. So here is our dotted quarter. Wow, that's pretty big. Here is our quarter note. Okay, let's get, here is our quarter note. Okay, and you know it's a note head filled in with the stem. Now we're going to add the dot, right? And what happens to the dot? It's half of the note value, right? And in this case, it's 1. So now when we go to the dotted quarter note, let's add our quarter note filled in the note head with the stem and add the dot. Remember we said it looks behind its partner, something like that. It always looks backwards to its partner note. Okay, so you remember that the dot goes behind. Okay, here we go. Where is it? And so in this case, if you have 1, what's half of 1? A half. Okay, so let's make this make sense here. Okay, so I have my dot. Okay, and we have a half here. This is 1. And now our dotted quarter note is now going to equal 1.5 beats. Everything is beats. Okay, so this is 1 beat. This is a half a beat with the dot. Okay, everyone see that? And I know my handwriting is not looking too good. Okay, 1.5. Did I explain that okay? Any questions? Okay, so once you know the formula, you can plug in any notes. Okay, any note. That is how we figure this out with the formula for the dot. Makes sense? Absolutely. Okay. So that was like a little advanced version if we were talking about other notes. But today's lesson, we were speaking of the dotted half note. But I wanted to have fun with you and do a little critical thinking to see if you could take what you learned today and substitute it with other notes that we talked about, other note values. Job well done. Come on and pat yourself on the back. Let me see you pat yourself on the back. Come on, come on, come on. Good, good work. Any questions before we say goodbye? All right. Yes, ma'am. Sounds good. Okay, Abdul. All right. So next week, we will be back in the classroom on Saturday, and I can say happy Saturday, but today is Friday, so it is a happy Friday. Go and enjoy yourself. Let's meet again next week, Saturday, 10:45 a.m. Eastern Standard Time. Let me say it again, 10:45 Eastern Standard Time. AM. And I always should say, providing I don't have tech issues. Sometimes I'm going to be a little delayed if there is some technical difficulties, okay? And so Mobile Music is letting us know that it was a job well done. Okay, this is a great time. If you've enjoyed this lesson, give it a like, give it and subscribe, okay? If you already are subscribed to the channel, please like it. Okay, give this video, this live stream a like. Also, I have the resources, okay? I'm slowly getting everything up to, on the store. Abdul, I think you downloaded the ear training worksheet from last week, okay? Yes, okay, you're welcome. All right, so I'm going to be bringing the more of the Unit 3 worksheets up on the store, putting it up on the store. I've been very behind, as you can see, with some personal and professional obligations, but I'm still committed to showing up for you. The resources are free. The resources are free. I can't promise that they will always be free, but they are free for you to download, okay? So go and enjoy, download. If you have questions, you know how to reach me, okay? There's an email, and I will do my best. You can put a comment in. I do my best to get right back to you, okay? All right, so I think that sounds good for today. A job well done. Keep learning, keep growing. I want to see you in the next lesson next week. We're going to be talking about more wonderful music concepts. And until then, I want to see you in the next lesson and have a great day. Keep music in your heart, and I'll see you real soon, okay? All right, bye for now.